All right, we're back for another week. The octopus is feeling a little bit deflated, or he could have shedded his skin. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to let him have a sleep because he bothers me less when he's asleep. So really good news if your name's Blake. We've got some boxes, Blake, so we can actually start moving your stuff out of my garage and down to you. And also my signature rant about what resellers are doing, especially in the social media space, that really irks me. A little bit about the website, how it's going, how it's not going, in the sense that people are buying stuff too quickly. I can't keep up with it. So long story short, I started a Skylander website, and I do want to talk about it a little bit as well from a marketing perspective. And I bought lots and lots of products, which I've got there. And a new shipment comes through the other day, and I will talk a little bit about that as well. Got more shipments coming through the week. I think I've said previously, I'm dealing about 500 to 600 Skylanders a week. Someone reached out to me on on eBay. Thank you very much. Yes, I am very interested. Email me at octo@disgruntledgames.com.au. I couldn't write that in the eBay message to obviously redirect you from that perspective, but reach out to me then. I'll grab those Skylanders off you. We'll work what price out. So if you do have any Skylanders in bulk or some sort of assortment as such, just reach out to me at octo@disgruntledgames.com.au and I'll probably take it off your hands, depending on the price, of course. I'm not cheap, but I'm not paying eBay prices, which a lot of people want for some reason. I think I talked about that last week with a nostalgia piece. So, first thing, Blake's got his boxes. He sent me an email or an Instagram message a couple of weeks ago letting me know the box size. So I went down to Officeworks, not to Bunnings like he told me to, picked up the boxes, and I will start moving the clothing to him in a wholesale lot arrangement that we've organised between us. As everyone knows, that I'm not notorious for basically dragging my heels on things. When people, I reach out to them on YouTube and say, hey, look, give me your address, I'll send you something. More often than not, it results in an international incident with police and getting your parcel probably 12 months later. So Blake's probably ahead of the curve in the sense that it's only taken about a month or 6 weeks since we originally spoke about it to get his stuff sorted and sent to him. So, all right, Blake, we're taking care of you. Next thing, I want to take care of what's probably irking me with regards to resellers on social media and sense. I think I've said numerous times, Graphic Granny said numerous times, I ingest a lot of content, right? So regardless if you're like me, completely incompetent and you can't talk to a camera, all the way up to people that have got flashy editing skills and they're very photogenic and they run out of warehouses. I will watch everyone. Like I said, I don't necessarily agree with everyone, but I used to work with someone years and years ago. They said that take the best part of the people that you don't like. So realistically, that if I won't say I don't like them, but I don't necessarily agree with them. However, if there are things that they do or that I can implement into my business, I'll take that evidence or I'll take that piece and move it into my business, as long as it works, right? I'm not going to take everything. I have fallen into that trap before. It's just basically blindly following people on the promises, dreams, and all those different things. So like I said numerous times before, you don't need to go into Facebook groups, you don't need to go into Patreon groups, you don't need to do all these different things. Because long story short, they're not healthy from a business perspective. Yes, they work, sometimes, obviously there's outliers, but for the very vast majority, they're not going to work. Let me know in the comment section below how wrong I am and how they're fantastic and how they work. But from a personal perspective, I would rather you ingest your time or invest your time into looking into niches as opposed to watching YouTubers. And that's been my stance for a very long time, right? Like I'm saying, don't watch YouTubers, don't watch bolo videos, don't watch all these different things because we're only going to give you the highlights. So for example, these Skylanders here, I show you all the Skylanders that are worth virtually nothing. I have a box pretty much like one of these full crates full of broken Skylanders, right? So on average, I dare say, depending on the lot I get from Facebook or get from eBay or those different places where people reach out to me, there might be 10, 15, 20% that are completely useless. They don't work in the sense that you put them on the portal, nothing comes through. So they basically straight to the discard pile. Or they might have arms missing. Like I said previously, I have broken legs or in more notorious cases, scissors that have attacked them. So I don't sell those ones. I don't want them in my store. And I've said this numerous times before because I want to be known for quality, I suppose. And previously I was putting them in parcels as kind of a bonus. But what I was doing is I was actually finding that was causing more problems in the sense of saying, having people reach out to me and say, hey, look, yeah, thank you for my parcel. I love the Skylanders. I've just noticed that you put in chill with no head. Is that a mistake, or is that supposed to go to someone else? And I would constantly be writing to people saying, hey, look, no, that's fine. I just normally don't want to put these characters in the bin, or I don't want to do it. They work perfectly. Please keep it. Then we bounce around 4 or 5 emails about, how grateful they are, or, thanking, or kind of disturbed that I would send them a chill with a head missing, all those different things. I don't know if I've got one on me at the moment, but we'll just pretend it's this one. So this is Bum Blast, but just like with his gun missing, or something like this. I will flash up a photo in a second, because I went to Belconnen, which is a shopping centre down where we are, to pick up some new shoes. So okay, I don't think you could see them, but hopefully they can make me run faster. So I went past CEX, which is kind of like game shop in Australia. Like they sell secondhand games, mobiles, all the different things. So they had some Skylanders. Someone's trying to sell me more Skylanders, which is fantastic. Normally I sell things, but I don't have them on here at the moment. But it wasn't this character, but hypothetically it was this character. They're trying to sell the character that I sell for, I think it's $14.99 plus post. With both his arms missing. So I sell complete characters. I factory reset them, I test them, I clean them, all these different things. So this company was selling this guy, for example, with no arms for $18. And I caused a ruckus on Reddit about that. So I actually put that on Reddit. They were all horrified and all these different things. So I see it numerous times in Skylander lots, because I do a bit of eBay arbitrage as well. I need to get a gimbal for my phone because my arm keeps giving away and keeps shaking. I do eBay arbitrage, I do retail arbitrage, which you can see here. Ooh, where are we? There's reverse camera. And also some sourcing locally as well. So what I find on eBay, and this is a little bit of a side rant, if you are selling, you need to know your customers. And this is something that I wanted to talk about a little bit later. This is what I wanted the whole episode to be about, right? So a lot of people that I see in Facebook groups, a lot of people I see on Reddit, a lot of people I see in YouTube comments and all these different things, they're going, well, my sales aren't working. My sales are doing this. My sales last week were $5,200, I think it was. And I think the profit margin was about $2,600. And that's not taken into consideration a lot of money that I've been punching out for Skylanders, right? Because I'm not talking about $30, $40, $50 lots. I'm picking up massive lots. That one over here, it was full of variants and full of chase characters. A lot of the packaging has come off, and apologies if I'm moving around and shaking the camera. So basically the backing's come off, but they're all brand new per se. Not that I'm going to sell them brand new. I'm probably going to sell them open box or something along the lines of that, because they've never been used. So a collector reached out to me and said, hey, look, I'm looking at moving my whole collection. My life circumstances have changed. I want to free up some money, because long story short, they just had a baby and they just wanted to get some extra income, which is perfectly fine. And this is something that I was talking about before, is, I'm trying to catch the people that are progressing through the different life stages. So the people that were probably playing these or collecting these are probably having kids and stuff along the lines of that, or moving and getting married and all these different things. Where I'm trying to capture the kids that were probably too young for Skylanders, or very, very, very young towards the end of Skylanders, because Skylanders finished about 2015, 2016. So I'm trying to catch the ones, probably the younger brothers, the younger sisters of the people that had these, and they're gobbling them up. But like I was saying, is that you really, really, really need to know your customer base. I'm jumping around again. So going back to what I was saying, is on Reddit and on Facebook and all these different things, people aren't, telling me they're not getting sales, or they're not telling me personally, but they're telling people they're not getting sales. And, you see a lot of content creators punching out videos like, hey, do this and you'll get more sales, which never going to work, right? You really need, for me personally, I did notice my sales were going up. I'm not listing 10 items a day. I'm not listing 15 items a day with $20 profit and all these different things. I am having constant activity on eBay. That's what I'm finding that's working for me. And by all means, I'm not telling you that's what's going to work for you. However, my constant activity is that I'm getting lots and lots and lots of Skylanders, and yes, it's Q4, and I'm very confident in the fact that people are probably buying for gifts or have that extra money running around. But I'm updating variation listings. I'm punching numbers from 7 to 8 or 9 to 15 or whatever's coming through the door. So that's working for me. Like I said, your mileage might change. So basically, I know the customer base, I know all these different things. So if you're selling clothes, it might become a little bit more complicated, especially if you are selling a vast majority of men's jeans between size 28 to 36, 40, 50, whatever size jeans goes up to. It might become a little bit complicated to understand the market in that respect. But if you are in looking for a customer base, you are looking for things from that perspective, is that look for a niche. Board games is perfect. Like I wouldn't go run out and buy board games, but if you are looking for a niche, find the customer base, work out the customer base, be a part of that customer base in the sense of saying, hey, look, if I wanted to be a board game collector or someone who plays board games, what would I specifically look for? Me personally, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, OCD, so I would look for the things that are factory sealed, because I don't want people playing my games before I play them, I was wasted a lot of money over the years playing video games, full price from EB Games or GameStop or whatever you want to call it, wherever you're from, which were brand new, right? So I wouldn't buy the second-hand ones, which were $10, $15, $20 cheaper, because they've been previously used, which realistically, as soon as you put it in your Xbox or you put it in your PlayStation, you put it in your Wii, whatever you played back in the days, there'd be no difference between, once you put it in the first time, there's no difference between obviously buying first hand or second hand from that perspective. Going on to what Page, the 1 Foot Flipper, said about video games, I'm kind of starting to resonate what he was saying in the sense of video games are losing the shininess of per se. I have been putting a little bit of video games into the store just to move them on from that perspective. But when this is primarily probably 12 to 18 months ago, I used to sell video games heavily. It was one of my strongest niches. However, from the prices 12 to 18 months ago, probably halved or a third. They've dropped insane. Very seldom sell a video game now, even though I probably more specialize in those higher dollar ones from the the $30 plus, not very high dollar, but not the not the $9.99 free postage or the $4.99 FIFA games, all those different things. So video games, keep in mind, especially this period of time, they should be flying off the shelf. People getting gifts and all those different things. I don't know if it's a case of like what Paige was saying in the sense of, that people get it cheaper on Steam, they're becoming more savvy from that perspective, but it may be a case that people aren't collecting that certain system anymore. Where Wii games were going phenomenal 2 years ago, where you could get Mario Party 8, I think it was, and probably command $100 for it, or the Kirby games, $100 for it, probably around that $40, $50 mark now as well. So we just be very mindful that things change quite quickly. The same with the Skylanders, hence why I've created a website. If you are watching from Disgruntled Games, my other YouTube channel, which isn't doing very well at the moment, thank you for reaching out to me repeatedly. I am getting there. I've got 2 or 3 customers that are just hounding me on it, in a good way, on a regular basis to buy stuff. And what it is that because I've got work going on, I've got very sick. We've had sickness come through. The house starts with gastro, and I won't finish what it is. So basically, I've been contending with 4 sick kids all week. I'm running out of buckets. I haven't caught it, touch wood. However, I don't want to. So realistically, like I was saying, is that we've got a few people. Organic website traffic is doing pretty decent for something that I really haven't promoted or haven't really heavily invested in. I did sell a couple of Skylanders through the week, one for $900, one for $500. Those ones I showed you last video, so Green Chompy Mage and Breeze, which was the little one, they were bust in the sense of saying that the buyer didn't pay for them. I cancelled their orders after 4 days. What I normally do in respect to the cancellation from that perspective, I normally get a Spidey sense or an Octo sense, probably a carry on from him, in the sense of saying, look, if they don't pay within the first 6 hours, they're probably not going to pay, right? So I normally give it 12 hours, obviously, depending where they're coming from. So a lot of my orders get shipped to Canada, surprisingly, or the United States. And that's another thing you need to read in the news as well. If you are an Australian seller, or probably anyone outside the United States, with the new election, with the new president coming in next year, there may be more hurdles in regards to tariffs. So you need to do some research. I'm not going to comment on politics. Please, by all means, don't put any politics comments in the section. However, that may be another hurdle that we need to look at from next year, especially if you sell highly to American audience or American customers. Me personally, I think it was very high from an American perspective, but now it's very high from a Canadian perspective. So a lot of my orders, international orders, go to Canada. So I don't think that's going to really affect it from that perspective. But be very mindful is that keep a macro environment, I think that's the right word, environmental factors in the sense of they can affect your business as well. A lot of people talk about economies, they talk about all these different things, which obviously this ties into, right? But be very mindful is that, for example, Australia, this is not politics again, they're introducing a social media ban for children under 16. Personally, I think it's a bad idea. And if you are selling media, if you're selling all these different things, especially to young kids, you've just probably primarily lost a marketing tool, especially if you are selling through TikTok or you're selling through Whatnot, all those different things. Not that we have Whatnot in Australia. However, people like that, especially with Santa coming around the next 12 months, next month, kids generally absorb marketing, all these different things. And that's why I created the other channel, just to primarily market Skylanders from my website perspective, from my eBay perspective. And the two won't cross, right? So I'm not going to tell people how much I paid for them or how much I'm selling for, other than just to basically tell them, hey, look, this is what I've got. This is fantastic. I'm really happy to have this come in. Then obviously redirect them from that perspective. So this is more like the Octo Flips channel, and I suppose the other one would be like akin to an Octo Picks channel, kind of just showing the audience of what I got, what I've come into the store, and all these different things. So like I said, I'm all over the place. I haven't taken my medicine this morning, so just be very mindful that the environment may be changing from an external to American perspective, right? Moving on to what annoys me with YouTubers and social media stars. Like I was saying a bit before I got off topic and started rambling, I watch a lot of content, I do all these different things. I am becoming very, very annoyed at a lot of content creators basically picking out washbuckler, for example, from half a washbuckler. I dropped the other half off. He's magnetic, don't worry, he comes back together. From the op shop, and they'll basically say, hey, look, I think I can get $80 for this. No research, no nothing. That's how you basically confuse your audience. That's how you basically start the big issue that Grumpy Granny and I were talking about very earlier on, in the sense of saying, hey, look, you've got a responsibility to your audience. I don't particularly care if you're doing it for your own journey or you want to make millions on YouTube, all these different things. You owe it to your audience, you owe it to your people who are watching to be truthful. And if you do not know, do not open your mouth. Just say, hey, look, or if you do say that you're out thrifting, I have no problems with people out thrifting, right? If you're recording it as you go, good to go. Potentially what I normally do, if I make a mistake, I'll put like a screenshot up on the screen here to say, hey, look, I think I can get $80 for that washbuckler, and I'll bring it up for $12 for free postage. I have had a couple of goes at previous YouTubers doing this. It's becoming more prevalent. If you've got a bucket of books or bucket of Skylanders, whatever you've got in your videos or your social media posts on YouTube or Instagram, all these different things, don't ask, I think I should be able to get $100 for these or $150 for this book and all these different things. I'm going to stop watching it because it just infuriates me. Like, you owe it to your audience to be truthful and transparent as you can be. Like, a lot of people are struggling financially. A lot of people are having different issues going on. They do not need some bullshit reseller, YouTube wannabe celebrity telling them that they can basically make millions of dollars, by picking up a $4 Skylander and selling it for $80. You're not going to win. And I've told you this before, is that you need to be very mindful of the fact if you are getting into Skylanders, you are getting to different markets like books, Skylanders, or video games, CDs, or board games, or all these different things. You are competing with people that are very established and competing with people probably got multiple quantities. So for example, variation listings, all these different things. I'm finding a lot of people are selling their Skylanders in bulk. They're selling with one-offs, which aren't going to sell, right? So realistically, you might get lucky and I'll purchase them because I find something that I like or you're not aware of. Case in point, I did pick up this off eBay for $200 Australian plus postage. And a lot of people would be going, why did you spend $200 on superchargers? Superchargers is crap. Actually, it's probably my best intro, my favorite intro for a Skylanders game. The reason why I picked it up for it is because this car here, it's actually a chase variant. Well, I better not say that because I pissed a lot of people off on Reddit the other day. So it's more of an in-game variant. However, this golden car may have been one in every 200 boxes of those. I don't have it on me at the moment. I'll cut this bit out of editing. I'll find it. All right, we're back. I'll cut it out of editing, hopefully, or I'm too lazy and didn't do it. So this is what the car looks like normally. So it's red and blue and all those different things. The other one's called the Golden Hot Streak. It's a special. It's not classed as a chase. It's an in-game variant because chases, when they normally come up, for example, Washbuckler isn't a chase. However, if he was gold, which I do have a gold one, I don't have it on me at the moment, but when you put it in the game, he'll come back looking like this, right? So he's not a chase variant because, he won't be classed as a variant or a chase variant because he comes up like this in the game. With Golden Hot Streak, which I showed you just before, that comes up golden game. So whilst it's still a chase in the sense of saying it's very hard to come across, it's called an in-game variant, which I got very torn apart in the Skylanders Reddit page. So I do apologize in advance. And that comes back to knowing your customers, right? So basically involve yourself into places where your products are, work out what their bugbears are, work out what they're actively sourcing for. A little bit of a sidetrack story just to keep you entertained. About 10 years ago, I got, military, right? So I got posted into a unit because I was the only guy in the office because I'm, I suppose, a clerk by trade. Got posted into the office. They made me the social club representative, and I wasn't particularly happy with that because I don't like doing social club stuff. Anyway, so my job in the social club was to procure confectionery, lollies, chocolate, all that kind of stuff, candy, for the Gumpy fridge, which is basically, you might have one if you work in a social club environment where you've basically got a fridge full of Coke or chocolate bars and all those different things, and all that money gets accumulated to the end of year function where you go out for dinner or something like that. So me being me, being facetious and grumpy granny will probably laugh at this, is that I noticed all the ladies, especially all the ones in the office, were dieting. Not that it needed to, and it's more of a side point, but it is pretty crucial to this story. You can probably work out where I'm going. So they're dieting, they're constantly whinging about eating celery sticks and carrots and all these different things. So being the prick I am, I did a bit of recon, a bit sneaky, in the sense I've worked out either directly or by speaking to other people what their favourite lollies were, what their favourite candy was, their favourite chocolate, whatever their vice was, right? So my next run to the place that sold all the chocolate and all that stuff wholesale, I specifically picked out boxes and boxes and boxes of the stuff that they wanted. I didn't get anything else. I just basically bought all the stuff that it is. Let me tell you, in that month, they put on about 4 kilos each, and I have never made so much money for the social club ever. So this is what I'm coming back down to. I know that people are probably going to lambast me for probably doing that, but hey, that was 10 years ago. That was when I was probably more of a prick. But this is what it really comes down to, knowing your customers, knowing what they want, what they subconsciously want, what bugs them. Like, for example, me with Skylanders, that people actively selling them on eBay with parts missing or broken, all these different things. These, you need to think of them as a collector opposed to actually someone plays the game. Yes, there will be people that, maybe a grandmother not grandmother's probably the bad example. Maybe a parent or me would say, hey, look, I can buy the guy with his head missing for $2. Little Johnny's only going to play it in the game, so it doesn't particularly matter. He's probably going to bite the head off anyway. So all those different things. To me, they're the outliers, right? So you're basically selling to collectors. You're selling to people that, all the people that I've purchased off or have reached out to me in regards to buying Skylanders off them have been collectors, right? So these people send me photos of their Skylanders immaculately put on shelves and beautifully looked at and after and dusted frequently and all these different things. And these are a place of pride for these people, right? And I suppose that's what I'm trying to do from a business perspective, is that I'm not trying to sell them quickly as possible, and they are flying out the door. sell them quickly as possible. I want to become known as the person. You go to the Octopus or you go to Josh because he has the highest quality Skylanders. He looks after them. He looks after his customers. And like I said before, yes, they're in buckets. However, the buckets don't move and they're not broken. They're tested before I put them in the bucket. They're cleaned before I put them in the bucket. And they're tested again when I take them out of the bucket and cleaned again when I take them out of the bucket and put in all those different things. So like I said, I do a lot of checks. I see them constantly advertised on eBay with like untested, no returns and all these different things. You really, really, really need to work out what your market wants. Yeah, and case in point, I've had some really, really, really expensive characters. This is my expensive character pile. Not so much this one. This is called Light Core Pop Fizz, right? So he's a variant. So he basically, when you put him on his little portal, his little potion lights up. He's normal variant, which is basically he has the drink in the other hand and it doesn't light up. Goes for about $1.99 plus post. This guy goes up to $50 plus post, right? And I normally look out for these things on eBay because people don't know what they're looking at. It just basically looks, to the untrained eye, it looks like the other guy, right? I have had some really, I won't say high dollar ones, so that $50, $60 mark where I've tested them, someone's bought them, and I've gone to test them again after I've basically had them sitting in the crates or all these different things, and they're not working. The really, really old ones, like the green ones and the orange ones, they're coming out to probably 15 years old, probably even more actually. So their NFC chips or the batteries are starting to corrode or they're not working. You can still sell them as collector pieces if you aren't testing them and they're not working. You probably sell them as a collector's piece and go from that perspective. But just be very mindful is that people want their stuff to be tested. If you're doing no returns, you're doing not testing them, all these different things, you're opening yourself up for iron ads, you're opening yourself up for negative feedback and all these different things. And this is what I'm saying, get to know your customer. You know, if you're selling books or you're selling Halloween decorations or octopus skin shedding things, work out what your customers want, work out what they need. Board games, prime example, I prefer to sell them factory sealed because they're complete, they can't argue that. However, if I miscount a piece or I misinterpret the instructions and I'm missing a piece, that board game's coming back and probably coming back with a few extra pieces missing because they're probably supplementing their board game they've already got. So be very mindful of that. So I've taken care of what YouTubers are pissing me off. I'm taking care of knowing your customers. I've taken care of Blake. Pretty much sure that's us for another week. So basically, like I'm saying is, video games are on a downward trajectory from my perspective. They might be the opposite for you. It might be because I've been uploading as many or I'm very selective in the sense of the ones I'm uploading. Let me know in the comment section below how video games are going for you. Please don't buy Skylanders. If you do, sell them to me, like the guy that reached out to me on eBay. Because I will probably give you close to, or if not, the amount of money that you probably would have got after fees and postage and all those different things. So what I normally do is I pay per figure in the sense of saying, hey, look, you know, I'm not going to shortchange you in the sense that saying, all right, this guy, yeah, he's only about $20. So this guy, you might have him listed for $4. But I would say, all right, on eBay, I can sell him for $20. On the website, I'm going to sell him for probably $18, $17, $18. I'll probably give you $10, you know, with postage in a big bundle, right? But like I was saying, is that once you do, but then all the risk transfers to me. So depending if they're tested or otherwise, obviously it influences my price. You know, obviously if they're damaged, that influences the price. Like I said before, the damaged ones I put aside. I will probably have some sort of promotion on the website in the sense of saying, hey, look, if you want a free toy and it fits within the shipping confinements, like, yeah, obviously international orders and all those different things, just use this coupon code, you'll get it. I'm not going to charge you. Something along the lines of that, just basically people know what they're getting and go from that perspective. So I don't pay for broken characters. Probably 2 or 3 characters that I would probably pay for broken. And they're referred to as the big 3. So you can probably work out they're called. But like I was saying, is that you really, 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 really need to know your customers, know what they want, know what makes them happy. So if you can work out, you know, like I said, I pretty much offer this level of service, but when that arrives to them, it's actually this level of service. And I don't advertise it up here because then I'm setting the expectations at a rate. than just over-delivering on that rate. Don't do the other way around. But anyway, that's enough for me for this week. Blake, I'll start moving on to your clothes. I want them out of my garage. But anyway, if you do like it, comment, like, subscribe, all those different things. And thank you again. And if you haven't already, slither across to the Disgruntled Games website, YouTube channel. Have a check of it over there. Not really much going on at the moment, just a couple of shorts about what's coming through down range. I would suggest that if you are looking into delving into a niche, probably starting something up like a YouTube or a social media page about that. Don't try and force sales down their throat. Talk about the product, and have that organic stuff coming through to build some reputation up, build up some rapport with your customer base, then start pushing it down their throat. Anyway, that's enough for me. I'm losing my voice, and we'll see you next time. Bye.